Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Happy Monday. We are back at the start of a new week, the beginning of a new week, and I believe this is week number 2 or week number 3 of December. Wow, I feel like I need a calendar in front of my face. Anyway, we only have a couple more weeks left of December, our preparation month. So we got to really get cracking, y'all. We got to really get down to it. There's still enough time for us to accomplish some things that we may have set out to accomplish at the beginning of the year that we really haven't yet, or at least to start to get some things in order for us to accomplish them perhaps in the new year. And you know what is funny is sometimes I used to get very discouraged because I didn't accomplish things in the time frame that I set out to accomplish them. But I feel like if you're really in tune with your purpose and with the purpose that God gave you, and just really in tune with God and have a good relationship with Him, you'll understand that God's timetable and our timetable most times don't really match up. You know, God operates outside of time. So if I say, hey, yo, I want to do this in 5 years, and He's like, we'll see. And I'm just like, but I really want to do in 5 years. So a lot of times that just doesn't discourage me, because I know that if I put time on something, but it doesn't happen in that specific time, I know that God is still molding the situation or working through the situation. So it doesn't necessarily mean that if you didn't accomplish something within this year that you're a failure. It just means that God is operating outside of the timetable that you set up. So let Him do what He got to do, and you continue to be obedient. That was a word for myself. I'm not sure who else, but that was definitely for me. But happy Monday, people. Start of a new week, so there's new blessings, new opportunities, new doors, new things that we can visually see, spiritually see, new things that we can emotionally feel and mentally feel. So happy Monday. Let's get right into the goal. As always, God is blessing us. He's always going to be blessing us. The goal for today is to be solid. Okay, be solid. When I looked up the definition for this word, there were so many definitions, like a variety of definitions that could define one word. I'm going to try to pick out a few so that we can relate it to our everyday lives. So to be solid means that we are filled, so there's no empty cavities, there's no voids within us. It also means that it also is used to describe a three-dimensional object having length, having depth, and I forget the other dimension that they use, but length and depth were definitely two of them. I'm sorry, I forgot the third. So those are really, I think, the two that I really want to focus on today. And then also, I'm sorry, 3. Also having substantial value or substantial property. So it's not, when we're talking about being filled with something, we're not talking about just being filled with like paper or something like that, but it's solid in that it's substantial enough to form a unit that is not easily broken. So when we're thinking about being solid today, again, we're doing everything in the month of December in preparation for not only the new year, but our new decade and the new season that God is calling us to. So when we're thinking about being solid today, let's focus on the areas in our lives where there may be voids, and focus on filling those up today and really honestly the rest of December. How do you know that there's a void in your life? Well, I know a lot of times when you are so pressed or you are desiring something so very much, and you know that you will not be happy or you won't find any contentment or joy without having that thing in your life, that may be a void. For example, a lot of times women will go chasing, or men, I'm not going to just stick it on women. A lot of times people will go chasing after the opposite sex, or just go chasing after love, receiving love from someone, because there's a void in their life of, it may be rejection, it may be just not feeling adequate enough, and maybe you just have always felt that you don't measure up to the next person. So they go and try to fill that void with either love from someone else. That could be really dangerous. It could be in the form of like an addiction to like drugs and alcohol or anything like that. So we're trying to figure out what our voids are today and how to fill them. So for me personally, of course, I'm Christian, so I like to fill them with Jesus Christ, the love of Jesus, and everything like that. Outside of that, though, I like to fill any voids that I have in my life with just some positive, things in my life, whether that be hanging out with friends and family that I know have my best interests in heart and that I know truly love me, whether that's reading some literature that I know is going to either put me in a good mood or push me into the direction I want to go. So it could be like a professional development literature or something like that. So that's how I try to fill my void. Music is a very big component in my life. So a lot of things that I don't know. I feel like just listening to music, singing music, writing music, anything like that. Writing also is another way, whether it's music or not. Just writing down things is a good way to like help fill voids and help to really discover who you are and all of that stuff. So we're working on filling our voids today so that we can be solid people. We don't want anything to come into our lives and knock us down with ease. Okay, something solid. Like, have you ever tried to punch a brick? And I know that, I don't know, I tried to think of something like off the top of my head. But have you ever tried to punch a brick or a cement object? It's very hard to do. Why? Because it's solid. There are no voids within that object that will allow you to easily push it over like you would a cardboard box that has nothing in it. Or I'll use the cardboard box as an example. That might be a better example. But have you ever tried to lift a cardboard box that had a whole bunch of things in it and versus lifting a cardboard box that has nothing in it? The solid object is obviously going to be a little heavier to push down or to move or to transport. Why? Because it's filled with some substantial items that are causing it not to sway back and forth or causing it not to be moved with ease. That's how we want to be today. I want to make sure that whatever we're filling ourselves with, or whatever we're filling ourselves with is substantial enough that we are not easily swayed to the right or the left, but we're always on track for the purpose that God has set out for us. So that is the goal for today, is to be solid. I hope everyone has a fantastic Monday, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.